Well, this is a beautiful spot on a beautiful day. This is the house that my grandfather built. It's one level higher now, but my mom grew up here on the bluff in Kenai. John Ross She'iji, my name is John Ross. Inushin Denainak She'iji Khdilan. Denaina name is Inushin. Katnu Kayach Shikechko. I come from Kenai, Alaska. And Shitsitsatna Kaknutana Gaila, Yaganan Hitana Gaila. My ancestors are the Kenai people. And I lived in this house when I was 5 years old, and I remember going down the bluff at the time, and we would go hooligan fishing. And when my mom grew up here, they would play out front here, and Jim Segura and all his brothers and sisters lived right next door. And so they would play together and go down to the beach. Tikatnu is our name for the Cook Inlet. It means big water river. And Katnu is our name for the Kenai River, below Skilak Lake anyway. The first fort when the Russians came was down at Kisilov in 1787. And it was part of a company called the Lebediev Listochin Company. And they're in the fur trading business, and they started working with local people here to get furs to take back to China for sale. And then in 1791, a few years later, another ship from the same company came and set up down here at the mouth of the Kenai River. But those two guys from both of those ships from the same company weren't getting along with each other, and created a lot of havoc for our people. And by 1797, the Battle of Kenai had happened, and our people killed all the Russians that were up here in the upper inlet, both at Kenai and at Tyonek and at Iliamna. And from that time on, there was less Russians coming up into the inlet. But there was still a fur trade that continued. After that time, the Russian company became a monopoly. Russian-American company was started in 1799. So we're going down to the beach. This is where all of my relatives and my ancestors lived, right here, and played on these hills and skated on these ponds and fished right here at the mouth of the Kenai. So it's not quite the right season for it, but this is a good place to come and look for agates. We have many awesome agate beaches, especially further north here, Salamatof Beach. We like to come down and enjoy the outdoors, even though you can't really look for agates too well right now. There's still a lot of people out here enjoying the beautiful day. The agates are special for us. They're quartz crystal, basically, that's sloughed off the beaches or come from the other side of the inlet, and they get rolled around in the waves and they become very beautiful. The Denaina name for the agates is Nudechkola, and it means lucky stone from the sky. And so our belief is that you find it and it brings good luck to you. So, well, our name for this whole area here was Yaganan, which means the good land. And so there was a lot of resources. Fish, especially in the rivers and lakes and streams, and plentiful game, caribou, at the time especially, and all kinds of other game. So the resources of the area was a real draw for our people. So this is Redoubt is the name that it's referred to today, Mount Redoubt. Our Dena'ina name, we have two different names from Kenai here for that mountain. One is Dagale Ka'a, which means big mountain, and the other is Benturesh Konulholi, which means the one with the crushed in forehead. The native place names are very important. Chinakatlin is our name for Iliamna, and that name means that it is the mother of the other volcanoes. So Redoubt and Spur and Augustine. For Spur, our Dena'ina name is Idazkani, which means the one that burns inside. This beach, say Katnu Tubo. Katnu Tubo. Tubo is a beach. Tabona is the beach people, the Kionic people. One of the significant places for us is right across the river here, where the cannery was. Libby's Cannery and Columbia Wards. A lot of our family members grew up working there in all different kinds of jobs. The Salamatof tribe has just recently bought the Cannery Lodge property that's right in the area there where the old cannery was. And we're going to have our tribal operations headquartered there and have programs for kids and for elders, and we're looking forward to having a new home for the Salamatof tribe. So the Dena'ina language is pretty fun to learn. It's a pretty difficult language, but if you decide that you want to learn it, you can, and you will. If you decide you can't do it, then you won't. And one of the best things to do is to immerse yourself as much as you can, just listening to it and hearing the words. There's many different recordings that you can listen to of our elders telling stories or about the past and what has happened to our people. It's always good to have a good language teacher as well. I have Helen Dick as my language teacher, and she is fabulous. One of my other teachers was her dad, Pete Bobby, and from Lime Village, and she is the most expert Dena'ina speaker you can get, and it's been great to have her being here in Kenai and helping the Kenai tribe in Salamatof with our language program. She speaks a little bit different dialect, but very close to Kenai dialect. So I'm down here for the Native Youth Olympics, our very first Salamatof Invitational tournament, and I get to try out this Mach-E. Well, I got this nice camera here so I can see behind me. Uh-oh, I see people and a dog. Native Youth Olympic. Doing these kind of athletic competitions was part of what Alaska Native people did yearly, especially in the springtime at their celebrations when they would get together. In order to survive, we had to be strong, and we had to be able to take on bears with spears and things like that. So they had to condition themselves to be strong and able to endure the element, to get game and fish and do all the things that needed to be done. And so these games were ways for them to condition themselves and to get into shape so that they were prepared for whatever they had to face. So we're headed to the Salamatof Native Youth Olympics Invitational, and it's our first one. It's being held at the Kenai Middle School Today and tomorrow, March 19th and 20th, 2022. This is the first Native Youth Olympics competition that's been held in 2 years because of COVID. We're very happy to be able to do this. We have teams from Seward, Homer, Cooper Landing, Ninilchik, Sterling. This is exciting for us. It's part of bringing back our culture for our tribe and our people.
Ready, grip. Go. All right. They got this. Go. Go.
Oh, nice play.
Grip. Go. There you go. Pull back. Grip. Go.
For more info about Alaska or our show, check out our website at exploringalaska.com.